The I-Team's David Charnes is live outside of the legislature in the state capitol with a preview of what we can expect over the next few months and days. David.
Well, good evening, Sasha. Things get kicking off here at about 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Of course, COVID is changing the way business is done this year. Families and friends of lawmakers will not be allowed in the building, and the building is restricted to lawmakers and staff. Everyone can only watch and weigh in virtually. Now, if you're unfamiliar, the legislative session is when lawmakers meet for 4 months to vote on a budget and make new laws. They have a lot to get to as well. First and foremost, how to balance the state's nearly $9 billion budget amid a pandemic that's devastated our economy. Democrats and Republicans will have to come together, finding ways to get Nevadans vaccinated and back to work. They'll also be focusing on funding our schools, health care, including Medicaid, and what to do with money our state received from the federal government. Now, we talked to leadership on both sides earlier this month about what conversations could look like.
We already made some tough decisions and cut our state budget by 30%. And that's a state budget that was already one of the most lean in the country. So we're going to have to, live within our means and deal with further budget, restraints.
I think you're going to see a continuation of a lot of those cuts due to the revenue shortfall from, the governor's closures.
Now, one thing we will likely continue to see is that Republican finger-pointing to Governor Sisolak, though he followed federal guidelines from former President Trump, a Republican, and of course the CDC. Republicans may also try to rein in the governor's executive power, though that would fail with Democrats in power here. Republicans did gain seats in November, but Democrats do remain in control in both the Senate and the Assembly. But they no longer have what's called a supermajority, meaning they will have to make some compromises this time around. Now, an interesting note here, also in the majority this session are women in both the Senate and the Assembly. Nevada actually the only state where that is applicable. And right now on 8newsnow.com, we have some tips for if you want to weigh in virtually online. Of course, you won't be able to enter the building, so how will you listen to those sessions, those committee meetings? It's all online right now on 8newsnow.com. Live from a very snowy Carson City tonight, I'm David Charnes, 8 News Now.